Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Got my sleepy tea back. Paycheck day. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and we're going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we do, the usual disclaimers and, of course, the usual rant. So I don't know about those of you who've never worked the call centers, but one of the most annoying things on the planet is when you're an agent with some level of seniority and you get newbies on. Now, I'm not saying anything bad about newbies. What I'm about to talk about is this little thing called the algorithm that they won't tell you about. They don't tell the newbies until they're no longer newbies. You see, what they try to do to help boost a newbie's confidence is they tend to shoot calls their way from individuals that have a history of always buying. Why is this bad? That means the majority of the good calls are getting sent to the new agents. So those of us that are not new end up with calls with individuals who are not even calling to purchase anything. They're calling because they have issues with their order. They're calling in because they need help with finding things, which is fine, whatever, but then they want to finance. What's wrong with that? Nothing, except it counts against us. They push direct close, direct close, direct close. Well, when you got individuals who are doing financing because they're doing it through other companies, yeah. Not great, right? Well, we got a bunch of new newbies on the team, so I've been getting nothing but crap calls for the last 3 weeks. So I get to go on another progressive plan again, and I get to have those wonderful talks with what are you doing wrong? I don't know, Karen. Start sending me calls from people who actually want to buy shit. We'll see what happens to my numbers. But yeah, this is the one place I come to vent because most of my friends that I've had since high school live in other states. So, yeah. The fun of call center life, right? The fun of call center life. And people think I'm getting paid to shill for. But aren't you neurodivergent? You're just getting paid shills. Walmart special. None of this came out of Georgie Soros' pocket. Or JD's paying us, right? JD's paying us. If Georgie and JD were paying me, y'all would know, because you'd never see my ass again, except maybe outside of Canton, Massachusetts at the JRC protesting about 3 or 4 times a year. I'd be the one that they would be hauling off to jail while screaming at the top of my lungs, "It was worth it!" But anyways, maybe I'll win the lottery someday and I can finally stop this crap. Maybe, right? Maybe. Enough venting. To the disclaimers, right? In the description box, you're going to find a link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. It's written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program. Matter of fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much, they've threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic has refused, so folks, you know the drill. Please read the article and share it on all your social media. Also included in there is NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding in case the JRC actually manages to see through with their threat. Also included in there is the Ozarks' first article in regards to Agape Boarding School, now known as Stone for Help Boarding School, a so-called Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri that takes in so-called trouble male teens that has impending over 21 civil lawsuits, claims, and allegations leveled against it, all which have been substantiated by the Missouri Department of Social Services, and they include the following: sodomy, rape, sexual assault, child abuse, psychological and emotional abuse, child trafficking, starvation, and that's just for starters. You have one former staff member arrested by the FBI, another a doctor still on the premises with full access to the boys up on multiple, again, substantiated claims of sodomy, rape, and sexual assault of the boys there. You got an attorney general too busy chasing after drag queens and trying and failing to defund public libraries, and let's not forget his piss poor Photoshop skills to actually do his job. And our governor. Send help our governor. If I ever have F the world money, just saying. Just saying. God, I miss Scotland and the UK. Ugh. Anyways, we have the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, Jennifer Masumba's behavioral sheet of shockable offenses, a clip out of the 7-hour ordeal undergone by Andre McCollins back in 2002, the templates, and the ever-present, self-explanatory change.org shut the Judge Rotenberg Center down petition. When we discuss the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of, catch clips or surveillance footage of peoples with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, folks, please go ahead and use those headphones, all right? This channel, trigger warning, is marked not for children for a reason. We use profanity on occasion, obviously, and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they are watching this, very obviously parental supervision is advised. Now that cursing, folks, it's kind of something I can't really help. I was raised by Army veterans who were also truck drivers. I was doomed, all right? Okay. Let's go here. The lesser of two evils. As reported above, the mothers felt intimidated by the staff of the facility and felt coerced into accepting interventions with which they were not comfortable. At the times, the staff offered choices to the mothers, but they experienced these choices as the lesser of two evils. Keith's mother and Heidi's mother described the limited choices given to their children. Keith has more freedom on the get because he's not tied up all day or strapped to a chair, so his behavior is better because he has more freedom. They allow him to do more things than he would if he wasn't on the GED. Jesus tap dancing Christ. Okay, parents, let me explain this to you. If I had to choose to be strapped to something and not be shocked, this is coming from my claustrophobic ass, be strapped down all day or be shocked at 3 times more powerful than a police taser on its lowest setting, I'm going to choose to be strapped. Okay? Because that's not real freedom. Okay? It is still a form of restraint. Yes, they can move, they can walk around, they can go places, sure. But anytime they do something the JRC doesn't like, which is just pretty much everything this shy of breathing, they can use that device. That device is designed to provide incredible amounts of pain on the surface, and electricity is designed to go directly to and to seize hold of the muscles. When I have 85 mph electricity shooting through the muscles in my legs, walking is not going to be something I'm going to be able to do. Which, of course, as you know, would get me more shocks. Okay? It is still a form of restraint. And that's just being nice about it. Also, the individuals that they put on the GED, what they don't tell you is that they're still going to strap your kid up on a 4-point board. Shock them over 31 times. Ask Andre McCollins about that. Okay? It's a lie. Okay? Moving on. The facility said that if she, Heidi, didn't agree with the program, they don't have to treat her. She can be declared as competent, but if she doesn't accept the program as is, they won't treat her, and so she would go to jail. And if anything happens and she's removed to a different program and anything happens, anything at all, even verbally, they could send her directly to jail for 2 years. That's a lie. They're lying to you. This is what I meant when I said in my last video, parents, you need to not only know your rights, you need to know the laws. Because that right there is a big lie. The JRC does not have the authority to send your kids to jail. What the law provides for is to send them to a program. You as the parent get to decide what that program is. JRC has no power over any of those other programs. They do not get to have a say in what can be done and what cannot be done in those other facilities that would send your kid to jail. Okay? They have only the power that they can convince you that they have. Okay? Let me say that again. They only have the power that they can convince you that they have. It's built on a lie. Anytime someone is trying to pressure you to do this or that for your kid, and they're putting that kind of pressure on you, call their bluff. Call their bluff. Okay? Don't leave your kids in a place that you know deep down in your gut that they are abusing your child. That is your child. That is your responsibility. You do not let anyone intimidate you into not protecting your child. Period. This is one of those situations where, to use a phrase that I know a lot of feminists hate, you got to man up. Okay? You got to know your rights. You got to know what the law actually says as opposed to what the JRC tries to twist it into saying. Because they may have Massachusetts in their back pocket. But these other states these kids are coming from, where they're telling you to get programs, California, New York, those are the laws your kid is subject to. They do not have the California judges in their back pocket. And much to Matthew Israel's great regret, they do not have the New York judges in their back pocket. Okay? You need to know this. Their influence and their power, as great as it is, the corruption and as deep as it runs, only works inside of Massachusetts. If your child and you as the parent have, it's different from state to state, but each state has protections in place. If you feel that your child's rights are being violated with impunity, if you feel deep in your soul that something is very, very wrong, and then they try to power push you into subjecting your child to torture, but you know in your soul, in your gut, when everything in your whole body is telling you this is wrong, this is insane, this is barbaric, listen to it. Listen to it. And you call them on their bluff. You tell them, okay, you say that it's this or jail. I'm going to call my lawyer. We're going to postpone this a day. I'm going to call my lawyer. And we're going to go over what the law actually says. Because no matter what the JRC tries to push upon you, you, the parent, are the one who is in control here. Okay? You have all the power. Do not let anyone intimidate you in thinking that you do not. You hold all the cards. Okay? All of them. Their authority only stretches so far. I don't know. Maybe because I'm an older autistic, it really just nothing intimidates me anymore. Still, know your rights. If they start pushing and pushing and pushing, do not be afraid to push back. Because your kid can't afford for you to be intimidated. Your kid can't afford you to just trust in everything that the JRC says. This facility has killed 6 children. 6 are dead at their hands. When I say this is a moment when you need to step up and put your foot down, I cannot put enough importance on that. Do not let them gaslight you. If they are pushing and pushing and pushing, you tell them, all right, you go get my child. We're leaving now. And don't be afraid when they try to tell you things. Well, we'll start treating your child, because you look them in the eyes and you say, good. Because this isn't treatment. This is torture. And you can try to threaten, cajole, and lie to my face all that you want to. But I and my child are leaving tonight. And don't give them any options. Because they can't withhold your child from you. And there are 1,000 programs and better options out there. It's not JRC and torture or jail. The law allows you as the parent to choose from programs all over the United States. And yes, I know, I shill for Rivendell left, right, and center. Maybe I'm biased because I helped in building the entire concept. All of it was very involved as a consultant in the creation of that school. But there's schools just like it all over the United States that specialize in treating, yes, some of the most quote-unquote worst of the worst in the country. They've done so successfully. Okay? You are the parent. You hold the power. You make sure that places like this know it. If you feel like you need some help because you feel like you might get weakened there and might feel intimidated, you bring your lawyer with you. Okay? But close on that. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time. And as always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye, everyone.